Hey everyone, it is Jack again with Toy Dojo, and today we're going to be taking a look at the FansToys FT-19 Apache, or their take on a masterpiece Springer. Now, as you can see, the box in front of us is like the typical FansToys box, a nice glossy black box. You can see the three modes on the front there. Turn the box over to one side, you got Apache in his helicopter mode right there. Flip it around to the other side here, you got Apache in his car mode there. And then on the back, you've got a bio there, and then showing some toy shots right there in all those different modes. So there's the box. He comes with, of course, a hard plastic card here, bio card, showing his strengths right there at the bottom. He also comes with an instruction booklet, which are nice and colored, but they're not like the greatest in some spots. And so once we get a transformation, I'm going to show you. And one spot is specifically right here, where it's not like the greatest instruction. So we'll kind of talk about that once we go through it. But anyways, nice colored instruction booklet. He also comes with a rifle right here. There's a nice silver rifle. It's got some nice silver paint. Probably could have used maybe like a dark gray or maybe even a black kind of outlining to accent some of these features that they molded in. But regardless, it's still a nice piece. And this handle will flip down this way, so that way it can be stored on his car mode or on the helicopter mode. So there's that. Then he comes with two swords. One is an all green sword right here, which doubles obviously as the propellers as well once you open this up. So an all green one. Or he's got one that has a green handle with some more nice silver plastic right there, or silver paint I should say. So very, very nice. I'm a little disappointed that once we get him in here, but they don't have a way to store this on him, or either one of the swords, in his robot mode, should you choose to keep him on him instead of him holding them. So that's a shame. So we're going to compare him to the Open and Play Big Spring. I've done review on, and I forget the name of the other one that I did the review on, but I'm going to put a link in the description below in case you want to look at that review. But here is Apache, and as I said, we're going to compare him to the Open and Play Big Spring, and just kind of get some thoughts on which one you guys think is the better one between them two, just because I happen to have a borrowed Big Spring, and then kind of see what you guys think. But anyways, there's Apache in front of us. And I think he's a nice looking robot. The robot mode I like. The car mode, it's okay. It's not my favorite. And then the helicopter mode I like too. So, but taking a look at him here, and let's look at the face. And he's kind of zoomed forward. Let me zoom in a little bit. But the eyes there, they're a nice I was gonna say translucent. No, a nice like kind of chrome eye right there, which is really, really nice. Nice blue. And I think they did a great job on that face. The face sculpt looks good. I like how they did the line work right there on the inside of his face right there. The helmet looks good. Nice coloring in there. So that looks really, really good. I think they did a great job on that. I'm going to bring in Big Spring next to him just so that way we can see them side by side. And Big Spring looks taller, but that's only because of the shoulder pieces right here. So if you want to, you can lift these up. Like, let's do this side so that way. You just close this up like that, and then kind of push this down. That's for transformation, but that'll make him look almost the size of Big Spring. He still looks smaller simply because of these shoulder pieces of Big Spring. But if you look at them at the head, they look about the same size right there. Now the Big Spring, I didn't care for the face sculpt. I thought the face sculpt was pretty weak. Just doesn't scream Springer to me. Let me open this back up right there as I'm talking. But it doesn't scream Springer to me. You know, this face sculpt right here. Looking at it, you can see the eyes are a nice color as well, but they're so far recessed into the eye sockets that you can't really tell looking at them straight on like that. Whereas on this guy, you sure can. So, looking over here at Big Spring, he has this, is that kind of like a lime color green. And this one also looks lime color, but in person, it's actually more of like an olive green. And so, but the camera's picking up a different color. So looking at the two guys, obviously you can tell that they both look like Springer, but my personal opinion, I think that the FansToys Apache one here looks a lot better in terms of the robot mode. And then weight, this guy is pretty light, whereas this guy is pretty hefty. He's got a lot of die-cast metal on him, and I'd say he's probably 1.5 to 2 times heavier than this guy here. So, you know, you get a lot more chunkiness and beefiness with this guy over here. Let's look at the backs. So the backs here, you can see that Apache has a bit of a backpack, and I don't think I have him straight up. Let me set him straight up here. There we go. Just a click. So Apache has a bit of a backpack right here. You can see that. Whereas Big Spring's backpack is more flush with his back. You can kind of see that there. And then he's got a butt flap here, which he does not have, but it doesn't look too bad from the front here. I mean, as a matter of fact, you can't see it at all. If you look at it right there, you can't even tell really he has that backpack. I mean, kind of right there, but that's the angle of the camera. But if you're looking at it like that, you don't see it. And that is because of the shape of the kind of butt flap there. These pieces that hang down hang behind the thighs, and so you can't really tell that they're there. So that's a good thing there. I don't like tire placements on this one up here, but then I don't like them on this one right here either, on the back of the forearms. So, I mean, take your pick. You know, they're either there or there. The hands look better, I believe, over here for me on Apache, simply because they're all articulated. So you got the thumb that's on a ball joint, and it's got articulation right there at the base of the thumb. And then each finger is articulated on its own, and it's pinned all the way through, so they're not going to pop off. Then over here on the Big Spring, there's no articulation in the thumb at all. And all that's articulated by itself is this one here. You can see it's pinned. And then the other ones are pinned, but they're all together as one piece. So there's that. I do like how this looks right here, I will say on him. And when you pick up the leg, it kind of hides that piece there, which is kind of like a hip skirt, but it's really not. And then over here on the Apache, you got the standard kind of hip skirts that you can lift up and, you know, move the leg up and down. So there are some plus and minuses from both. And if you have this guy, I'd like to know what your comments are on him as well. But I just think look-wise for the robot mode, I think the FansToys one looks a lot better than the open and play one. So there's that. All right, I'm going to bring some bots to compare him with before we start getting into articulation and all that. So I'm going to bring in the FansToys Coot or Cup. Show a size comparison there. Here is the FansToys version of Perceptor. Kind of show some sizes there. The Hasbro Masterpiece Rodimus, Hot Rod, Rodimus. There he is right there. Here is the Takara Masterpiece Hot Rod right there. Let's move you out of the way. You can go to the back of the show here. Kind of show you what they look like right there. So he's a pretty big bot. I mean, they're about the same size right there. And he's a lot smaller than he is right there. Here is the KFC Retgar right there. Kind of show you, just showing you with movie bots. So again, he's just a really big figure. He's about as tall as MP10, which we'll show off here in a second. Here is the Toy World ugly version here, which I don't really care for. I'm waiting for the FansToys one to come out, but this one's borrowed, and I just don't like her ghostly eyes, you know? Like, you can't really, she looks like her soul is sucked out of her. No lipstick, nothing. So, but there she is next to him, so you can kind of see how that looks there. And then here is MP10 with him, just because, why not? And like I said, they're about the same size. From the top of Prime's little crescent piece here to the top of his right there, they're about the same size. Even at the shoulders, they look to be about the same size. So he's going to be the size of about MP10. All right. And then the last piece, just because, why not? I got the Masterpiece Ultra Magnus. And Ultra Magnus is a big dude, so we're going to push him back and kind of pick up my camera here. Just to kind of show you how he is next to Ultra Magnus. And Ultra Magnus is a big dude, so that looks good. I think that's a pretty good scale right there. So, articulation. The head can look up, down, all the way around like the Exorcist. Shoulders themselves can come all the way up here on a nice clickety ratchet. They can go all the way around, and the reason I don't like the tire is because when you come down, kind of bumps into stuff back here, you know. If you just want to swing it all the way around, now you can open it up and swing it, but you kind of get what I'm saying? Like, if that wasn't there, you can easily swing that around. Rear shelf, these can pick up if you want them to. It's got an upper bicep swivel, which has that FansToys squeak. The elbow right here bends. Come about that far, he's got an elbow there, not an invisible one. We looked at the articulation of the hands already, and he does have a wrist rotation. What's a wrist? I don't know. A waist of a wrist of a wrist of a waist. All right, coming down to the waist. So the waist does have some articulation. Now the backpack is meant to sit flush against the back like this, but if you have it flush against the back and you're trying to rotate the the waist, man, I'm getting my words mixed up. You only get like a click from center. So if you do it more, it'll just push that backpack kind of out of the way, which it's not a whole lot. You can see that, so it's probably not even a big deal. And then you can move this freely all the way around. That's on a nice clicky ratchet right there. Now, if you look at the legs here, they kind of are sunk in, you know, this way, because in helicopter mode, they're meant to go this way. So in reality, you're supposed to have them push all the way out, and it can be a little bit of a chore. And it probably gets a new bot that's why they do that. I think maybe over time they'll eventually, with enough messing with them, they'll stick out. But like I said, they're meant to do that for helicopter mode right there. But the legs do come forward about 90 degrees backwards. They don't go back that far. They go back, and that's all you're going to get right there. Part of that is because of this right here. So you can kind of see where it starts to rub against there. And then if it went back further, it would hit that. And if it went back even further, it would hit the backpack. So that's pretty much all you're going to get there. He does have this rotation here on the thigh. But as you do that, you see they tend to scoot over. So you kind of have to scoot them back out when he's on your shelf. Coming out to the side, it's on a nice friction. And that's actually a pretty strong friction joint right there. You know, considering how heavy the legs are, it's not just going to go whoop and fall down like that. So that's good. And then the leg here, you got a double jointed bend at the leg. So you got the bottom one and then the top one right there. So you can get a pretty good range of motion on the knee there. Coming down to the foot, he's got up and down forward motion on the foot. And then you can move the toe and have like a toe tilt left and right. That's mainly for transformation, but it still works in robot mode. All right. Another thing that I wish they could have done a little bit better would have probably been down here on the feet and maybe hid these better. I don't know if they could have maybe put a cover here, like a flap cover that could have hid it. They're sunk in the most they can because these pull out in car mode. But I think maybe if they would have done something to where you could have covered that, that probably would have looked a little bit better. So you can see these kind of little turbine deals right here on this. These are going to be the back pieces for the helicopter. And these here, you can either have them open like this. When it comes out of the box, they're open like this, but in the instructions, they're meant to be closed like that. But if you wanted to, and there's a little QC FansToys sticker. But if you wanted to have them, you can have them open like that, or again, just the way they are in the instructions like that. So your choice. So like the weapons, they have this notch in them. And so one thing FansToys did, and I don't think they've done this before, and I have pretty much every FansToys figure that's come out, and I don't think they've done it before, but you can see kind of like that half circle right there. And so you put the weapon in like that, and I'm guessing they're trying to maybe make them hold better. So you just kind of get that and slide that in, and it holds really well. You know, I mean, the weapon's not going to fall out of his hand, so that holds pretty well like that. Same thing with a gun. You know, you take the gun handle down like this, and you do the same thing in his hand over here, and you slide that in like so, and he's going to hold his gun. So there's that. Now, like I said, there's nowhere to store the gun in his, his sword on him anywhere. Like this little piece here does not fit in here. That's too, even if it did, it'd be way too long for him. But it doesn't sit in there. There's no other peg holes anywhere that I see where I can like stick it in there. I mean, if I wanted to, I guess I could store it like this, but that's pretty dumb. You know, imagine sitting on your shelf like that, poking your other robots in the back or in the face. So, I mean, I guess if you wanted to, you probably could. I'm gonna do it with that one because that one's that painted gray. I guess if you wanted to, you could store it. Can you? Let's just look at this right now. Let me see. I mean, I guess we. No, I guess we can't. I thought maybe it can go right through all this, but it doesn't. Let me pull this out some more, maybe. I haven't tried this, so it's the first time I'm trying it right here with you guys. I mean, I guess you could store it like that if you want to. That's pretty ridiculous. It's not meant to do that, so no, that's ugly. So one thing that I wish they would have done, which the Open and Play did, let me bring him back in here with his. So Open and Play, they gave this little like sheath kind of that sits on the sword. It just slides in there like that. And this is too small for the FansToys one. But that just plugs into the helicopter spot right there. And then he's got a nice spot to hold a sword if you don't want him to hold it in his hands. Or if you want him to hold one and store the other, something like this would have been awesome. So hopefully somebody out there will make one of these here, either a third party or maybe just some of you guys that actually do customizing jobs. If you can make one of these little pieces here that would fit these here, I'm pretty sure you'd have some buyers for that. Because that's, I think, what sorely is needed for the FansToys one. So that I do like. I like that. Alright, let's get a transformation of this guy. And like I said earlier, I'm going to refer back to the instruction booklet here on certain parts where I'm just like, it weren't very clear. So starting over here with him, we're going to take the shoulder pieces, flip them up like this, and these will come down on a hinge and sit there. So do the same thing on the other side, flip it over, hinge them down like that. And there's a lot of sliding on this figure as far as for transformations. A lot of pieces you slide. I mean, a whole lot of sliding pieces. So take the thumb, push it down, take the hand, fold them in, the fingers, get them into a fist like that. And then rotate the hand so where he's giving you a little fist bump, little bro fist bump. And then open up the inside here of that forearm. And then this forearm over here. And you want to take the fist and you're going to rotate the whole thing inwards to his body like that. Then close these two up like that. Take this, collapse it onto itself, and then you just flip this over like that. Do the same thing over here. Just take the thumb, go down, fingers in like this. Fist bump him, pull him around, open this up, open that up like that, and bring this around like this. Close everything up like this, collapse these down like that, and then flip these up just like that. Alright, coming over here to the headpiece. We're going to take this section right here and just pop this piece out. When you first do it, it's a little rough or a little tight, but after you've done it a couple times, it works really well. And then right here, this is the first spot you're going to have to do like a kind of a sliding deal. So you see that kind of a chrome pin right there? That's on the sliding mechanism. So you got to pop this open right here, which is a chest piece. Just pop it open right there. It's going to unpeg from right here, or slide off of these two here. And take this whole piece and just take it and then kind of slide this whole thing. You're going to kind of slide it out like that way, okay? So take it and back out a little bit here. Maybe I'm too close. So take it and just kind of pull it outwards like this, okay? You probably missed that, but let me try and do that again. So it goes down and you slide it outwards. You'll just pay attention to here. Slide that outwards just like that, and there you go. And then this whole thing will flip up, and this piece right here, you gotta take this and pull it up, and that's gonna give clearance for that head to shine through, okay? So now, these two pieces here, we're gonna open these up. These are kind of like just filler ins for the side, so it's not just a big gap right there. And take them, and the best way to do this would be just to kind of fold it like this, kind of fold it in to where this is kind of like this angle, and then just pull it up like that. Just kind of get all that out of the way. Okay, so again, just fold it in, flip all that up out of the way, so we got clearance right there. Next thing you want to do is this whole piece. You can kind of just pull that off right now. This eventually is going to slide. That's going to slide. There's a whole lot of sliding. So take this top piece right here and just slide this down like that. That's going to make some clearance for the head to flip on down like that. Okay. Then on the shoulder pieces here, you're going to take them, and it's this whole chest piece, I should say, and that's going to slide together like this, put that like that, and you'll see that they're going to slide in right here. So just slide them, push them all the way together, like so, like that. And that keeps this in here, and you have a small little gap right inside there where now the headpiece is going to fit in. So you can see these were sitting on the outside. Now when you push them in, they're on the inside. So the headpiece will come down like this and go all the way down and sit in that little notch that was right there. Now coming over here, you want to make sure and take this piece here, and this here is going to slide all the way up into here, because what's happening is this normally in robot mode is sitting back here inside that groove, but when you slide that up, that's going to sit into that groove for the vehicle mode, or yeah, the vehicle mode, right? So take this piece and just slide that all the way up like, and again, because it's sliding and there's no like grease on any of these little sliding mechanisms, they can be a little bit of a challenge sometimes, so just take them and slide them up. Come on, let me zoom out a little bit. Slide this up like, it's a little bit of a job sometimes to do it, but slide that all the way up like that. Because what's going to happen, once you have it all the way slid up, and you'll know when it's slid up, because like I said, that's going to match up to that spot right there. So just get that, slide it up, like so. And then when you do that, just take this thing and then just slide that forward again. So that way that will now peg into that spot right there. And what that does also is it gives you, that peg will fit into that peg hole right there. So you can take that one, close it down like this, come to the other side, do the same thing over here, close it down on that one there, and now you got that in just like that. And over here, go ahead and close this back down like so. And then where you slid this before, take this, fold that down like that. And then where you slid this up before, you have to slide it back down now, so that way this is flush with the top of the roof here. So take that, slide it back down. Let's get this out of the way. That probably would help better. These tires, I'm telling you, I don't like that they put these tires there, because to me they kind of get in the way. So slide that back down like, come on, man. Slide it down right there. Okay, now you can see where that kind of sits flush right there. All right, so we're getting somewhere. So now we got to get these tires rotated so they're facing the bottom there. Okay. All right, these actually need to be folded where the bigger yellow pieces are on the bottom here, like this. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take these here now, and these will flip open like this. And flip this side open like that, and it helps if you have nails. So flip that open like that. And then these pieces here, you're going to flip up, one right there, and one on this side like this. And now these will rotate through this hole right here, which is going to get the tire down to the bottom like this. And then this will sit inside that opening right there. Now, I thought it was supposed to go all the way flush in, like further in, but it doesn't. That's the most it's going to go inside right there. So if you can't get it in all the way, don't worry about it. That's the way it's supposed to stay. All right. So now we got the front half of the car done, and now we're going to work on the back half. So coming down here to the legs, all right, the legs themselves. Take these, just unpeg these parts right here, unpeg that one right there. Come over here, and you want to just kind of get all this undone. So that's pegged into the bottom right there. So just unpeg this like this, pull that up, do the same thing over here, unpeg it on this side as well. Come on, man. Don't be a jerk. Unpeg for me. There we go. And then you want to take these side pieces here also. I don't know why it's going out of focus there. Knock it off. And these will unpeg from the sides as well. Okay. So let me show you over here. When you flip this down, you'll see that that's pegged into the top. What's going to happen is it's going to end up going here and pegging to the bottom there. So when you undo this here, you get all this stuff out of the way like this. Okay. Now, you want to take this piece here. That's got to unpeg as well. So the way I find it easiest to do is to take this and just kind of pop it out like that. Same thing on this side here. So pop that one off like that. This will have to rotate, and you can move these forward like that. That's fine. This will have to rotate up. So you can kind of see it was sitting down here. Now it's going to sit up here. So rotate it up like that, go into there. Rotate this one up like that, go into there. And then over here, and I keep jumping back and forth between the legs, but it doesn't matter. So now we're going to take this, and I like to open this up so that way I can see where I'm going to be going with this thing. And pull this all the way up like this. And you're going to see it's going to sit right inside that notch that's right there. Now, before it was there, now it's here. And that's going to make this kind of sit squared off almost right here. Okay? So looking at it from this angle, again, just take it, slide it all the way down this mechanism here. That's going to slide all the way up. Again, I just like to use that. And you don't have to, but I find it easier. And that way I can pay attention where that plugs into like that. Okay? Now, coming down to the feet, we're getting the car parts already done. Coming down to the feet area right here. This is where, again, it doesn't really say, you know, what you're supposed to do. And kind of let me show you what it shows in the instruction booklet here. So it says on the feet, it says that you got to take the, take this, open it up, and then come do this with a foot. And then it says to flip the foot around. But then it says just take all that and put it up. And then it just says like pull that down. And then now it says to push those two together. And for the longest time I kept messing with it and I was like, man, it doesn't make any sense. Like I can't, nothing would stay together. And I was like, well, that's not very clear, you know? So I kept messing with it, and you take this around like that. And the way I saw it was this. So there's two peg holes right here. You can see 1 and 2 right there on the inside. And over here on this side, you only got 1 peg. But on the other side, you got 2 pegs on the inside here. And then right here, you got a peg hole here and then a kind of a half peg hole right there. So for me, and it doesn't say the instruction booklet, again, there's nowhere in here does it say peg all that stuff in. It just kind of says flip it up and then push that down and then push it together. So I'm like, okay, whatever. But for me, I mean, it would make sense that those go into there because why else are they going to be there for? So I just take all this, push it down into here, and then you really can't, I mean, you kind of have to see it. It's kind of hard to see. Like, I really can't explain it on camera or show it on camera because it really doesn't show well, but you kind of have to get them and line them up and then get them pegged into those holes right there. And then that way this stuff all sits together and you're not sitting there fussing with pieces popping apart. Let me see if I can get it here. Alright, so I got them pegged in. So they're pegged in right here. You can kind of see where it's pegged in. Because if not, we just did like the instructions say, like this, then all this stuff always just sits there and falls out. You know? And that's basically what the instructions say to do. They didn't say anything about pegging anything in. So once you do that, actually what I should have done first was, well, it doesn't matter. Just take this foot over here and flip it around. And another thing the instruction doesn't show, and again, I could just be looking into it too much. There's kind of this little notch on the bottom of the foot right here, or on the side, that runs along here into the bottom. And I don't know if that was supposed to be just for like a design, but I kind of see when you sit this down like that, you can kind of see where it fits almost flush with the inside, or this corner piece right here. And so that, to me, I know I have it set right, because if not, this thing sits too low and then it rubs onto the ground. So looking at this orientation here like that, that's how I kind of was like, okay, I know I have it in the right spot because of that. So again, it doesn't say the instructions, and you know, maybe it wasn't meant for that, but I mean, I figured that piece out and I was like, well, I guess that's the way it goes. So do the same thing on the other side right here. Just take this, get all this stuff up like that, and then again, just find that spot where I got to peg it in. And let me see where that is. Is it right there? Yeah. Okay. I'll rotate this foot around like that, and then again, just come down. Like I said, you'll even see on this side, it sits in kind of right where that little notch is at right there. And these pieces here are going to sit up right here, and they got to go underneath this green piece like that. So once you do that, you get all this stuff together, and then you get, there's a peg slot right here, or a peg slot right there that's going to fit with those pegs right there. So you got to make sure this is pushed all the way to the back, and just kind of straighten out these legs, and that way that'll sit and peg into the underside of that car piece right there. Let's see here, come on legs. Quit giving me some troubles. The knees straighten out. Start pushing this stuff together just to peg everything together. So these two will peg in together, and then that'll peg into there, and then you got that peg will go inside right there. So all this stuff will peg in together just like that. Alright, I got the rest of it pegged in. So you can have these pegged in like this if you want to. Obviously the instructions don't show that. The instructions show that they're supposed to be open like this. Okay, but you can peg them in, and that peg will go into that slot right there. And so we'll just leave it like that. And then the final piece would get the tires, right? And then just kind of pull them down like that, and do the same thing on the other side as well. And once you do that, you have his car mode complete. So let's put this on. So we'll take this piece, fold this down like that, and then this will notch into these pieces right. You can kind of see that groove on the inside of that yellow piece right there. So just take that, and just kind of get it in together. And that may make things unpeg. So you just got to peg everything back together like that. And there he is in his car mode. So the last piece I forgot to do, hello, these here. Forgive my ignorance. You got to open these up like this and fold these down like so. See if I can't get it with my fingers here. Yeah, it's gonna take a while. I'm just gonna grab this little screwdriver piece and just kind of pull it out. It's just plastic. It's not gonna scratch anything or hurt anything. That piece right there, and that goes down like that and sits there. It doesn't peg in anywhere. It just kind of sits there on the side like that. So same thing on this side here. Get this one, pull it out, and then pull down. And that looks better. That covers everything right there on the side. But again, you know, it's a decent looking car mode. It's not, to me, my favorite. But, you know, it works. And if you wanted to, you can get one of the swords. And you can store it on the bottom of the figure right here. And you do is you get this little peg right here. And it's going to sit into that hole right there. And that's going to fit on the bottom right there. And that'll hide one of the swords right there on the bottom of him. So, and again, these tires sometimes will go all the way down. You got to pull them out. And then also, so it's got rubber tires on the front right here. And on the back, these are kind of plastic tires. They're not rubber. So I don't know if it was, I feel like if they would went with rubber, it probably would have held better. Simply because the rubber would have rubbed up against this plastic and maybe not caused them to get pushed in. So if they went with rubber tires all around, I think that would have been better off than they did with the plastic on the back and rubber on the front. So anyways, let me get the big spring one out here and let's compare the two guys side by side. All right, and here they are side by side. And, you know, the FansToys Springer, although a little bit long, is a lot better, I think, than this one, the open and play one. So the open and play one looks to me more like a tank than it does a car. Get that done right there. It looks, I don't know, it looks more like a tank, in my opinion, or like a Humvee, than the kind of Cybertronian car that Springer is here, that they portrayed him. So, for me, I think I like this one better. Even though, like I said, it's maybe a little bit too long. I mean, maybe if it had been maybe this much shorter, you know, I think it would have been better. But they did nail, I think, in my opinion, they nailed the G1 look to it. So, you know, you got this here on the side there. I mean, everything just looks good of the G1 cartoon. And I'm going to take this off just because. So, obviously on the bottom of him, you can see his robot legs right there. His head right there. You really can't make out the arms so much there because they kind of hide really well. You can see the waist piece right there. But overall, the car mode isn't as terrible as, you know, I guess I was making it out to be. It's a good car mode. It's just, to me, a little bit too long. This one over here, you can see his legs right here. You can see his head. His head is worse here because it kind of sticks out right there. This one does have rubber tires on all four, which I would have preferred to have him over here. But, you know, just looking at them side by side, this one just, to me, doesn't scream, you know, a masterpiece style Springer, in my opinion. I think this one does better over here. So, what do you guys think of these two vehicle modes here? And just to kind of show you what he looks like, I have my I compare him with my G2 Sideswipe. So just kind of show you just how big this guy is. I mean, he's a large bot. I didn't transform anybody else, but I'm just going to pull in MP10. You can see he's taller than MP10 is in his car mode right there. So, anyways, let's get the stuff out of the way. We're going to put him into his helicopter mode. Alright, first things first, let's just pop the gun off right here, off the back. And you can do that just by separating it. You have to separate this anyway, so it doesn't matter. Take that off like that. And we're going to start down here on the, or up here on the front end. So just pull these arms open like this. And you can just collapse these down for right now, like that. And rotate these around like this. Rotate this one around like this. And we're going to end up rotating this all the way around. So like 2 times. So you can open up this one right here right now just because on this side here. There's one that's open on that side and one on this side. So flip this one open here. Flip this one open right here. And then I find it easier because this kind of gets in the way sometimes when you're having to flip all this because of the tire and all that, and then this runs into it. So for me, I find it easier. And the instructions don't say to do this, but I find it easier to just take this stuff and just kind of pull this out of the way like that. So just pick them up and get them out of the way, and you can easily put them back down. Just take that, rotate this around like this, and you have to slide this. You can kind of see inside there, that's going to end up sliding up, so you can flip it over again once more. So take it, slide it down, and then flip that around like that. And then you can get this and push that down like that. Do the same thing on this side here. Take that, flip it around like this, slide it over, and just pull that down and lock that back into place. Just like that. Okay? And you can just push that in just like that for right now. And then coming down to the bottom, we're going to have to mess with the legs themselves. And there's one thing, and I don't know what it actually meant right here. Like it says insert, and I don't know what that actually meant, so I'm just like, I don't know. Like I didn't insert anything into anywhere. So, I don't know. But anyways, come down here, we're just going to break this piece apart down here, pop open the that right there where that's all connected. And we got to start coming down to the legs and transforming these guys down here. Pull this down, let all this come out. So when you do this, if you pegged it in the way I did, make sure don't just sit there and rip it out, because you probably end up breaking that peg off inside there. Same thing on this side here. So just take it all and just make sure you gingerly undo that, so that way you're not breaking your pegs inside there and you're like, well, Jack, you said you know, peg it in and now it broke. I don't want to be responsible for these figures breaking, so just make sure you unpeg them so that way these little pegs aren't breaking off inside there. Okay? Then just take all this, undo this right here, like that. Do something on this side here. Undo these down like this. And now we're going to take all this stuff down here and pull all this down like this. Because all this is going to end up going, flipping around into there. And just take all this down, pull this down, and straighten this out all the way out just like that. Okay, so you want this all straightened out here. So over here, do the same thing. Just take all this down like that. Pull it down all the way down. This needs to get pulled down right there. No, don't peg into there. Pull that all the way down like that. Peg back into the original orientation, which was his leg in robot mode. And then get this like that. And you want all this straightened out just like this. Okay? And once that's done, this is the part where I was telling you that these two are supposed to be stuck in more like this when I was talking about in robot mode, how the legs kind of sit in. So I just kind of get them and twist them. It says to push them, but it's hard to push them. So when you do that, just kind of rotate them, and they kind of sit in more like that. So that way everything pegs in better together in the robot mode. These will get flipped around like this. Do something on this side here. Flip it around like that. And probably flip it around the other way, because these kind of get in the way, so you got to remember which way to flip it around. You got to flip it around to where it clears, just like that. And down here on the bottom, you take all this stuff here and just collapse everything together and start pegging everything in together here at the bottom section here. Alright, just for the sake of not having to watch me do it on camera, I just went ahead and did it off camera. So you just get everything and just line it up and press it all together. There's no extra move in there. Once you do all that, you just get everything and make sure you push it all together there. And then these, you take these two and close them up like that. These, and you can do this last or do it right now, but these will end up flipping around and becoming obviously the back fins right there. So you got that right there. And now we're going to work on this piece here, which is going to end up being the, and I'll just close these back up. Like I said, you can do this last. I'm going to do it last. I just wanted to show you that they do go right there, these tail fins, like that. And then come down here, and all this has got to be pulled out. So this whole section here has got to be straightened out just like this. So you're going to straighten all this out like that. Come over here and just straighten everything out, because this is going to end up sitting on the side of the helicopter mode like that. So straighten everything out. Just like so. Straighten that all out. Do something over here, just make sure it's all flattened out and straightened out. And these will come down like this. And then down here, you got to pull these pieces right here and slide them up. Again, like I said, there's a lot of sliding on this figure. Slide here, slide there, do this, do that, slide it back. So that goes down like that. This will come down, and they're going to sit down together like this. These will flip up, and you can see where that's going to peg into that slot there. That pegs into that slot right there. So you can go ahead and do that just to get all this stuff pegged in like that. peg it in. Take this one, peg it in as well. The toes will get flipped around like this and like this, and these are going to come down and sit right here, and that one right there. And the last part is going to be just to mess with this here. Now this can be a little bit of a chore, because so that's got to peg into that hole right there, but you have to get all this stuff just so that way it lines in, and this is going to come up and sit right there. But before I do all this, I like to rotate these around first, because when you rotate it, everything comes undone, because these are a little bit tight for the first few times. So just take this section here and rotate this around like this, and do the same thing on the other side. Take it and just rotate it like this. Now we're going to take these pieces here, and again take that, and that's got to be pegged in, but you got to have to get these kind of sitting at an angle right here in order to peg in there. Let's see here. There you go, there's one. I'm going to take that, and this piece will come up, and you know what I forgot to do? Dummy me, dummy me. These got to close, you're not going to get that done. So, just close that up. Close this one up right here, and then go down right here and peg all this stuff in right there, and then of course hit the camera, because why not, right? So with this one, peg this one in as well right there, and then get all this and line this up here and just push that together, and then just square everything up. Make sure everything is squared up and done right. And I don't know what happened. I guess my storage card ran out on my device here because it stopped, so I'm not sure where it cut off at. Well, it cut off right when I was saying get everything squared up. So get everything squared up on this figure like this, and just get it all nice and squared away. Make sure everything's pegged in really well how you want it to be. And then at the end here, just take these, flip these over and around like that, and flip that over and around like that. And there is the helicopter mode. Now we just got to get the, I'm going to put the, I'll put the green one on. Why not? Open this up like this, just unpeg it right here. Flip those down like that. Take the propellers and stick them inside right there. And there is his helicopter mode, and I do like the helicopter mode. I mean, that looked cool on camera for some reason. Like, man, it kind of looks, that was pretty cool angle. It made these look like they were kind of bowed, or is that just me? That looked kind of cool. Like, seriously, I'm digging that. What if it does it the other way? If I spin it the other way, yeah. You see that? Is it just me, or do they look like they're bending when they're really not? It's just, it's like movie effects, like the wind is blowing so hard that his propellers are and getting bent. Anyways, okay, I'm acting stupid now. So anyways, there it is, and again, just make sure everything is just lined up just perfectly on it. And to me, honestly, that is a pretty darn good looking helicopter mode. I think that looks good for a Springer helicopter. I mean, that is freaking awesome. So this one is probably my, out of the two vehicle modes, this one's my favorite. I like this one over the car mode. Again, the car mode, it's not, I don't think it's horrible, but I just don't think it's great. I think it's just a little bit too long, but the helicopter mode I think is spot on. So, all right, let's get Big Spring in here in his helicopter mode, and let's compare the two guys and see what you guys think, and then we'll wrap this video up. I know it's been going on for a while now, but again, I just wanted to make sure we cover all the bases and be thorough on that transformation since it's a little bit difficult. So be right back. All right, here we're back. So now we can see the both of them side by side in their helicopter modes. And again, just like in the car mode, for me anyways, the winner chicken dinner is the Apache here. So again, he just looks small. It's crazy how they're both the same size in robot mode. And the one thing I forgot to mention that I know now anyways, I hadn't messed with this guy before I shot this video, the open and play. So I pulled them out of the box, and the way the shoulder pieces were that way out of the box. So as I was messing with it, I was like, oh, these actually fold down. So I know I had the shoulder pieces wrong on him. So he actually will not look as much taller than Apache does when he's in there because of the way the arms are. So I'm sure you guys are going to mention in the comments, because why not? And then look at there, that one does it again too. That's cool. So anyway, so I know I had these wrong now after messing with him, but it's crazy how they were the same size in robot mode, and then all of a sudden he's a lot smaller in both vehicle modes. So talk about mass shifting. I like how they made the piece here. So when it's in his car mode, the windshield is larger, and then in the helicopter mode, smaller. But overall, I think, again, for me, this one wins out. You know, it just looks the part. It's big, it's heavy, it's mean. It looks like an actual Apache helicopter. Well, Cybertronian one, I guess. But it just looks good. Everything is well hidden underneath, right there. Let me fix that up. Everything's well hidden. You don't see anything. No robot bits in there. You can't really tell these are the legs. So, well hidden right there. Coming over here to him, everything is well hidden except for the head. Now, as far as transformations, which one's easier? This one's easier. This one's a little more complex. There's a lot more steps in this one than there's on this one. Going from car to helicopter mode, this one's a lot easier because there's less steps to get from car to helicopter than there is on this guy here. But, again, I just think, for me, and now that I've messed with this one, and the other one that I had reviewed that I forgot the name of it, I remembered, was the Unique Toys Alan. And Alan, to me, he felt like a play school, big boy type toy. And so this one is the one I was waiting for, and I do like this one overall out of the three. I didn't mess with, I think the other one that came out was from, who was it? Toy World. I haven't messed with theirs, but I saw pictures of it, and I'm like, I don't think so. So for me, personally, I think Apache wins out. I forgot he has these little kind of lights right there, so... What do you guys think, though? They're both in their own rights. They're both nice. But, again, this is just too small. It looks too kiddish. Doesn't really scream masterpiece to me. The plastic quality is good, but there's no die-cast metal in this one at all. Like I said, this one has a ton of die-cast metal. And let me get you out of the way now. But he's got a lot of die-cast metal in him. There are some faults. Like I said, I wish they would have made it to where this could have been stored on him inside of his robot mode. But again, that's just going to be somebody maybe making a piece that'll let you do that. The transformation is a little bit finicky in some spots. Again, the instructions don't clearly show you how to do all this stuff down here. But overall, I think this is a good pickup. So if you guys don't have a Springer yet, an MP Springer, I would say, opt for the FansToys one. Here we go. Let me do this real quick before we go. To show you the size of this one next to him. So you can see that helicopter mode is ginormous. And that probably is right. Maybe it's supposed to be a little bit bigger compared to like a Lamborghini, but this thing looks freaking cool. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm going to put a link in the description to Toy Dojo. I believe they are out at the moment of him, but I'm going to have the link in the description below where you can get one from them once they get theirs back into stock again. And then I'll put a link in the description to my Unique Toys Allen review that I did. So if you want to check that out, you can. And I'll be getting some more stuff out here within the next day or two, some more reviews. Just kind of keep you guys looking at my stuff. And as always, I just appreciate if you guys would like the video, if you like what I do. I know sometimes I ramble on a lot, and these videos kind of do go on a long time, but I like to make sure that we try and cover everything and not leave anything out. So if there's something you saw that maybe I just didn't do right or I forgot, please, again, let me know in the comments below. Hold on, wait a minute. Again, I forgot. We didn't talk about where this guy goes here. So the gun. All right, look at me. Man, I'm forgetful. So the gun, it's been a long day. I worked a 14-hour shift yesterday, and so I didn't get much sleep. But, no, not even 14 hours. It was longer than that. It was 16 hours that I worked straight. And so, anyways, this goes on the bottom of him right there. See that little notch? So the gun handle, when he's holding it in his robot mode, he has it like this, and then flips down like that, and that will plug in right there. And now that looks beast. Check that out. What are you doing? So anyways, that's that, and now we're done.